Blessings, everyone. Oh, hello, hello. I am recording this video for the full moon, and for me here in the Northern Hemisphere, I am in Samhain. We are in Samhain here in the North, and this is the Celtic celebration of New Year. This is the beginning, it's the end, it's the beginning, it's weaving those two realities together as one. So in this video today, I'm going to talk about the full moon. I'm going to talk about the blood moon of Samhain. And I'm also going to talk about the aspects in the north and the south, and the 13 moon calendar. What else am I going to talk about? Cygnus. Oh, lots of things. So we'll see where we go. But this is my beautiful fireplace. Honouring my ancestors for Samhain and feeling the ancestors really strongly this year. Wow, what a blessing. But first of all, I really want to jump into the full moon chart. And so I'm going to bring it up. So I'm just going to share the screen with you. Let's have a look. Where is it? Thank you for your patience. Here we go. Astro app. This is my Astro app account, everyone. So here we go. So the full moon on Samhain is the 31st of October 2020, and this is for 14:49 in the GMT time zone. So that's London time or UK time. So you can see in the chart here, because I work with 13 star sign astrology, we've got 13 houses, and we've also got a focus over here. Hello, focus. And so you'll see all the constellations are different sizes. That's because they reflect the actual size of the constellation in the sky. And so we haven't gone into Scorpio season yet, folks. Sorry. We're just coming into Libra. Look, so this is Libra. And so you can see here the sun is at 0 degrees of Libra at the time of the full moon. And we'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. But I just want to talk quickly about Scorpio, because in tropical astrology we're in Scorpio season now, but in the lifetime sky it's not correct. The sun is not in Scorpio, so it's really important to recognize that. So if we're using that information, it's incorrect. But I did a bit of research, and back in 1,000 years ago, I think I looked it up as 1129 the year, the sun was actually in Scorpio at Samhain, and this is the time of King Henry, I think, and King David and the Templars and all of that kind of generation. And so lots of stuff was happening there, very different energy to what we have now at the Samhain moon. And so, yeah, this is because the Earth moves. The Earth shifts only a small amount each year. It tilts off on its axis, and so over time it gives the appearance of the stars being in a different position each year. It's like the stars look like they're moving around, but it's actually the Earth has moved. It's shifted. And so 1,000 years ago the sun would have been in Scorpio at this time, or going into Scorpio at this time, roughly, and now 1,000 years later, because of the shift, and it's now going into Libra. And so, and this will keep happening, and this is how we get the different ages. And so at the moment, when the sun comes up on the spring equinox here in the UK, the sun is actually in Pisces, and so it's not in Aries. So you can see how it's all shifted. So those of you who believe that you are a Scorpio are probably actually Libran. So happy birthday to all the Librans out there who have got their birthday coming up between the 31st of October and the 22nd of November. And so when we get to the 23rd of November, we'll go into Scorpio. And it's a really short period of time because Scorpio is such a small constellation. And so basically it will be, I think it's till the 29th of November. So to be a true Scorpio is actually more rare. There's not, because it's such a small sign, it's only like a week. Yeah, it's a real kind of like, it's a real gift to be that magical Scorpio. And my mum has recently found out that she's a true Scorpio. So wow. Yeah. So it's really cleared up a lot for her, because her whole life she thought she was Sagittarian, and she's nothing like that at all. And she's very Scorpion. So yeah, if you want to find out your 13 star sign astrology chart, please just get in touch and I can get you a chart done like this. I'm still very early in my astrology days, and yeah, but a lot of what I bring through is stuff that I see and vision, and I like to see the constellations as more like archetypes or characters that we've chosen to help us to embody in this lifetime. So anyway, back to the full moon. Yes, so at the time of the full moon, we have a conjunction. The moon is in Aries down here, and she is conjunct Uranus as well. So the moon is at 9 degrees and Uranus is at 10 degrees. And so those of you who are into the tarot or numerology will know this is like a completion or an ending of something. And to be in Aries, it's interesting because Aries to me is the beginning. It's like the birthing energy. It's that fire of birth. It's the ring of fire of the crowning of the baby. And so it feels like there's a lot coming to completion to, this whole year of what we've been birthing or what's been releasing and ending. And we're getting to like the end of this year is going to be a really big pinnacle when Saturn and Pluto come into conjunction again, and Jupiter as well. You can see over here, these are all, it's coming into the exact conjunction in December again. I can't remember the exact dates. My dear friend Kim at 13 Star Sign Astrology, her video is amazing. It's got all the dates in it. So yeah, it's a really powerful energy, the moon with Uranus. It can be quite explosive, electric kind of, because Uranus it's revolutionary, it's unexpected, it's like out the box thinking, it's the rebel, it's completely different, like and so to be next to Aries and the full moon, it could be quite explosive and quite fiery as well. And it's an interesting opposition, because if you look up here, you've got the sun in 0 degrees of Libra. And so to me, 0 is like the womb or the yoni, it's the start point. So it's like the sun is starting a new journey of how it relates. It's how we come together, how we share, how we are committed to one another. Because you can see the sun is right next to the goddess Juno here as well. This is Juno. Juno is wife of Jupiter, and she represents our commitments and marriage. And so to have these two together, it's like we're having a rebirth, a new beginning to do with our marriages and our commitments to each other and ourselves. And and I feel like with the opposition with the moon and Uranus, it's helping us to break through so much of our emotions and our feelings and that birthing energy. And so it's interesting, we've got this fiery energy of this moon, because it's connected to the blood moon. I'm actually bleeding right now, which is so beautiful. It feels so powerful, that my womb has aligned with this, because it's here in the north, we're in the death moon cycle, and it's very connected to the blood. And this is why it's called the blood moon, because the blood moon, it's really for us here in the north, because we're in the death cycle, we're in the Scorpion cycle. Because Scorpio is connected to the death moon, but we are not in the constellation of Scorpio, but we're more in the season, down in the earth. We're in the place of death here in the north, and the grief and the letting go. So this is the time that we're in here, in the season of death. But like I was saying, the aspects of the planetary aspects have changed, and the stars have changed. We've changed. The Earth has changed. Goodness, it's the Earth. We've moved. We've changed. We've moved on. We're not in Scorpio at Halloween anymore. So our focus has changed. So I'm not going to talk too much about the chart today, any more about this. There's one thing that I really wanted to bring up, because I love the stars and the sky and the constellations, but I have a really special connection with Cygnus. And so some of you know Cygnus as the Swan constellation. And so I've got my swan feathers here just to honor this energy. Wow, like I've been connecting with the Swan energy so much this year, and it's connected to the 22, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, Sacred Union. And so Cygnus has been baffling me for some time now, because when I look out of my window at night, I can see the cross of Cygnus. So I'm just going to show you here, because I'm sharing the screen, so I'm hoping that you can see. See that? That's Cygnus. So this is the cross of Cygnus. And this is the swan, so I'm like, the cross and the swan, it's like, wow, okay, this energy is so powerful. And so I'm really fascinated by, some of you will know of Newgrange, which is in Ireland, and it's an ancient womb tomb or a burial chamber, but it's also a place of ceremony, and it's lined up with the constellation Cygnus, and the swans go there every year. And so, when I look out my window at night, I can see Cygnus right above my head, and I'm like, oh my goodness, is Glastonbury Tor, because I live right next to Glastonbury Tor, is it aligned to Cygnus? So I'm having all these kind of like epiphanies about Cygnus and how, because in the lifetime sky, Cygnus is just behind the constellation Aquarius, and she is just above the galactic center. So over here in Sagittarius, this is where the galactic center is, and that's where it's the cosmic yoni, it's the womb, it's the like birthplace. And so look, look, I get so excited about this because I love it. So anyway, yes, Sagittarius, this is where these planets, the big boys, we've got transformation of Pluto, we've got the structures and the systems of Saturn, we've got Jupiter, who's going to expand it all, and his spiritual teachings and religion and philosophy, and Athena, Pallas of truth and justice, all in the galactic center for this massive kind of year of awakening and breaking through the yoni. I love, those of you who've been following my work for years know that I am yoni heart, and I love yonis and the womb. And so the galactic center to me is the cosmic portal. And so on one side of the galactic center, you have Scorpio, death, endings. And then you have Ophiuchus, the serpent tamer. And this was conveniently taken out of our wheel, when the Gregorian calendar was put in, and we follow now 12-month systems that don't make any sense, because they're all like 29 days, 30 days, 31 days, 31 days. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that, but Ophiuchus is enlightenment. It is our journey of the serpent. It's our kundalini life force. To take that out is like you take out our consciousness. This is where Christ consciousness belongs, in Ophiuchus. And so this is our ascent. So Ophiuchus, the serpent, goes into the galactic center, and the snake comes up from the base, from the yoni, and it's this spiraling energy that takes us up. And then once we go through the galactic center of Sagittarius, we ascend with Capricorn. The Holy Father, the sacred cosmic Father, takes us up. And where does he take us to? He takes us up the mountain to meet with the cosmic mother, Aquarius. The chalice, the water carrier. We are water. She is carrying us, but also Aquarius is androgynous. She is both masculine and feminine. She's everything. She's the holder of all. She has the seed. She is the seed, and she's the chalice. She's everything. So she's also known as Mamu, like the sacred dragon goddess of the ocean. And so, behind her, and just above the galactic center, we have Aquila, who's the eagle constellation. And there's so many ancient symbology around the serpent and the eagle, right? And so this is our enlightenment. And so once we get past the eagle, above the eagle is Cygnus, the swan energy. Wow, 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 wow. And of course, Queen Isis of ancient Egypt is connected to the swan. She's always pictured with swan wings. She's also known as the Queen of Heaven. So my feeling, like, wow, this is really out there, but I believe that Cygnus is heaven, or our gates of heaven are up here somewhere by Cygnus, and it's right above my head. I can see it every night. It's like, oh my goodness, like part of me really knows this wisdom, and I know this journey home, and this is the reason why, the womb tomb, the Newgrange in Ireland, the ancient chambers, which is I think it was built around the time of the pyramids or a little bit before, this was a place of returning. We would go here to cross over. Oh, wow, 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 wow. And Cygnus is the cross. So in the chart, back to the chart, I'm just going to take a few breaths because I get so excited when I start talking about this. I'm hoping that this energy is infectious and you're loving it. Wow. Okay, so back to the chart. So if you look in the chart, we've got a cross. Oh my goodness, there's a cross in the chart between. So I decided to put the brightest star from Cygnus into the chart and see where it would turn up. Because, Cygnus isn't in the wheel, it's just beyond Aquarius, it'd be over here somewhere, I think, in the actual sky, maybe over here. But yeah, it's coming up in Aquarius in the chart. I think that it's probably the nearest constellation to it. Cygnus and Aquarius are their own constellations. Cygnus isn't in Aquarius. But that's where it's coming up in the chart. So I think it's Deneb or Deneb or something is the brightest star in Cygnus. So that's why it's coming up with a D. And look, it's at 8 degrees of Aquarius, and the 8 symbol is the symbol of infinity, but I also feel it's the symbol of the sacred union. It's connected to the swan energy. It's connected to the twin flame energy. It's connected to, infinity. It's everything and nothing with a twist. So there we go. So Ceres is the corn goddess, the harvest goddess. She's the sister of Vesta. So these two are opposite each other. Vesta of the sacred fire over here, she is in opposition to Cygnus and Ceres here. And so these two are sisters, and she's in Leo. So this fiery energy is like really powerful, like the sacred fire energy, the Vesta energy right now. Because Vesta is goddess of the hearth and the home and the sacred firekeeper. And so, but she also holds so many of the ancient teachings and sacred, like the old knowledge, the old wisdom. She'd keep all of that, but she is connected to the fire. And so these two working together, because Ceres is connected to the water. So you have such a powerful alchemy of the fire and the water with these two. And then the sun and the moon are making the other part of the cross. So that's more fire and water because the moon is connected to the lunar water energies. And, over here, this is the sun, it's the fire as well. So we've got that energy. It's like the fire and water and the cross. And so it feels like what is coming in this full moon is really connected to this energy of Cygnus and our enlightenment. And it's giving us an opportunity to really see for ourselves, look in the sky. Download an app called Star Walk 2. It tells you where all the constellations are. Look in the sky and you will see the constellations. You will see that the moon is in Aries. It's not in Taurus. And so it's so important that we really honor this, that it's different and it's true, and start to look for ourselves. And 2020 is about 2020 vision. It's about really seeing and using our third eyes to see. And I'm really starting to test this in myself now and be like, okay, so Like, so for example, when I see the moon come up over the Taur, I say, oh, I feel like she's in, I don't know, I feel like she's in Pisces now, you know, and then I'll start tuning into the energy. Oh, how do I feel? Yeah, I feel like that. So I'm using my spiritual awareness, my third eye, to tune into it. And then my scientific brain, or my left brain, wants to be like, okay, I need to know for sure. So then I get the software out, and that's my masculine side, you know, who wants the science behind it as well. So bring together the spirituality and the intuition from the cosmic realms and join it together with the power and the scientificness of the masculine, you know, and the logic. And it's like bringing the two together in marriage, you know. And so astrology and astronomy have been separated, you know, because Western astrology is a joke to astronomers because it's incorrect. 13 star sign astrology is not. It's because I just got beeped in my ear. Walter Berg, founder of 13 star sign astrology, he is an astronomer and an astrologer, and so it's really time to marry the two together. My computer's beeping at me. I'm not sure if you can hear that or if it's just in my headphones. Anyway, yeah, so bringing together the two, you know, the science and the spirituality, and just getting up to date. What is the sky actually doing? Look and see, is this true? How does it feel for me? And I think when the Gregorian calendar came in, a lot of us still do, you know, hand over our power to say, okay, this is how we manage ourselves, you know, in this calendar system, and didn't even think, is it correct? Does it feel right? And so I'm really being pulled more and more now towards the 13 moon calendar. And so I've been creating my own calendar system, which I'm using alongside the Gregorian calendar, because I feel like, you know, and I love the Mayan calendar as well. This has been used for thousands of years. And the calendar that's the 13 moons on the turtle's back from Turtle Island, indigenous tribes there, you know, like, this is the way of the new earth, you know, to actually tune into the flow of nature and everything around us, which is showing us our truth, and not using some outdated system that's not working anymore. This is why, you know, we've got Saturn next to Pluto. It's like Saturn is the system and Pluto wants to be like, rah, you know, break it all through and like shatter what isn't working. It is similar to the Tower card in the tarot. So yeah, there's just so much coming through. I'm not sure. The fire is a really important thing that I wanted to talk about before I go. I'm not going to talk for much longer, but at Samhain my fire's just gone out, so that's a funny thing, isn't it? It's quite a symbol of, you know, if you don't tend to your fire, it will go out. And so at Samhain and at Beltane, in the Celtic tradition or the pagan tradition, we'd always light fires at these times. Why? Fire represents our life force, our kundalini. It's like when we're on fire, you know, it's like we're creative. It's creative energy, and it's the fiery energy that will birth a baby at the end. You know, it's that ring of fire moment, that pure life force, that chi, which is roaring through us to bring this new life through. And so it's such a powerful energy. It's fire to die, fire to be reborn, you know. So with the fire and the flames, we can release all of that we no longer need, or we can hand down, you know, our skins of the last year, peeling it all off of us and saying, okay, what is underneath all of this? And we can find our way back to the seed within, you know, in the middle of the apple. And I love this analogy at this time of year because the apple is so sacred to Avalon, where I live. And the apple's fallen from the tree now, and the skin is being broken down and eaten by the earth. The goddess, the dark mother, is eating the body of the old, breaking it down, demolishing it. And so inside of that whole process, you know, which is quite like, whoa, it's a big process, right? To let go of the old skin. We're all doing it. Is there's grief and there's sadness and there's anger and there's all kinds of feelings that we have to feel, you know. But within all of that, within all of that, we're finding the seeds of the new. And these are the seeds that are going to be taking us through the next year. So for us here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are celebrating our new year because we've got the new seeds to plant and deep, deep down in the wombs of the earth, you know, to come out again in spring. So we have got such a powerful inner journey for the next 5 moons. You know, we are going to be inside until the spring equinox and we pop out, you know, and so this time is like, it's so feared by many. Lots of people go and fly overseas in the winter because they don't want to be with the feelings of the inner realms. And so I've become quite fond of that place, you know, and I really look forward to that time in that place. And I'm looking forward to just being at home and nesting and resting and letting my body restore itself. And then of course you in the south are on the other side of the coin. So you've already come out of your hibernation and you're starting to make new connections, making new bonds and unions. So yay, yum for that. So I'm just going to exit this share screen now. So it's back to my face. Hello. And so, yeah, I think that is all. I think I'm done. I'm going to go and stoke my fire now. Hopefully it's still bubbling underneath. It just sometimes needs a little bit of a stir and it'll back up again. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's been following my channels and for all of your support and encouraging words, because I feel so inspired by all of this, you know, and I'm so passionate about it. And so for me, it's like, makes total sense, you know. Of course, we need to marry together the wisdom of the earth and the stars and yeah, and find peace and harmony and love and bring it all into our heart center. Yeah. So honoring wherever you are in the world, honoring wherever you are in your life path and your circumstances that are presenting to you now. May we honor our ancestors and the teachings that they are bringing to us. May we let go of that which we no longer need from the past. May we heal the old wounds and bring love to all of it. And may the seeds of new life bubble, bubble, bubble within the soil of the earth. And may all that we plant now be sealed with love. And so in the new springtime energy, it will burst free with new exciting life coming up and out. But for now, the life will bubble within for us here in the north. Wow, Samhain blessings for the Northern Hemisphere and Beltane blessings for the South. And before we go, I just want to sing a small little song for you. It just wants to come in, so here we go. Oire kiana, shumbe kiana, die yamakie. Due kiana, sie hia, due ya kia. Kuya die ama, ama kia die. Kuana kia, siama kia die. Yay! Blessed be. I love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Full moon blessings. Love, 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 love.